Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cryptic, and today I'm going over how to beat the Extinction Mode for Call of Duty Ghosts, Episode 1, and this is in solo mode. Let me go ahead and show you the class loadout. Alright, we're going to be using the Medic class mod, the MP443 full auto close range pistol, explosive ammunition, body armor, the automated sentry gun, and the grenade turret. Alright guys, I've actually used this setup probably 3 or 4 times now, and every time I use it I end up escaping on solo mode. I've got another video coming soon that's going to show you guys some multiplayer tips and tactics for a 2 and a 3-man squad. Things change up just a little bit, but not so much. A lot of the same strategies in play when you have multiple people, but you do need to take different perks so you can bring down the rhinos later on in the match. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is give a look around and try and find these small circular items that are on the ground. They appear to be trash bags. I haven't really given them a real close look, but I believe that they are bags of trash. When you get close to them, you'll get a prompt that says search. If you're an Xbox guy, it's going to say hold X to search. So you hold down the X button and you can get all kinds of stuff out of the garbage bags, from money to ammo to special ammo, weapon parts, all kinds of different stuff. In this first part here, there's definitely always two of them. Alright, so right now, the challenge that's active is to not take any damage from aliens. Now, if you actually complete these challenges, you get an additional skill point to spend at the end of the round. It's really important that you finish as many of these as possible, especially during the first two areas. That's the first area here in the town and the second area at the gas station area. Alright, now, at times like this where it's in between rounds, it's best just to conserve your ammunition, especially early on here in the town, and melee the enemies. Now, when you do that in between rounds, the enemies actually have a reduced amount of health, and you can kill them with one shot. Alright, so now we are going to go ahead and spend our first two skill points, and I'm going to put them both on the automated sentry gun. Now the next thing that's going to be updated is the grenade turret, and that will be after the next hive is destroyed, and we'll put 2 more points on that one as well. Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do is between rounds, you're going to want to scavenge around for more money, ammunition, parts. You can find SOFLAM lasers. What you don't want to do right now is buy a gun until you start the next round. And the reason for that is a lot of times the second or third hive will give you a gun-specific challenge. So you'll have to do, say, 15 kills with the assault rifle or 25 kills with the submachine gun. And you don't want to go and buy something like, let's say, the sniper rifle and end up getting the SMG challenge and not be able to afford it. So you want to wait till you get the weapon-specific challenge to buy a weapon here. Alright, now if you noticed, I didn't pick up that square weapon attachment box yet. The reason for that is if you haven't purchased a weapon yet, 90% of the time, you will not get a weapon attachment when you open that up. You'll get money, ammo, explosives, a knife, or a flare, or some other a SOFLAM laser sometimes. But 99% of the time, 90% of the time, something like that, you will not get a attachment like you're probably looking for when you open it up, unless you've already purchased a weapon. Alright guys, yeah, so go ahead and just bear with me here for a few minutes as I fast forward past this hive and into the next area, so it's going to be fast. Alright, during this little fast forward segment, you should notice a couple things. Well, one is that I get all of the pistol kills I need to get, and then I go back to using my knife. I don't throw out ammo right away, and that's mainly because I don't want to just waste the money right off, because I might be getting the SMG, the assault rifle, some other challenge at the beginning of the next round. And at that point, if I were to throw out ammo, I would get ammunition for both weapons instead of spending the 1200 points on just one weapon. And as stated earlier, the next 2 points are being spent on the grenade turret. Alright, boys and girls, if you notice this next challenge that just popped up, it says do not reload your weapon for 60 seconds. Now, it is oftentimes hard for people to do this. The easiest way to do this is to not have any ammo. As you can notice, I don't have any ammo. And what I'm going to do is not buy any ammo. What that allows me to do is just to run around for the next minute and melee. And if you're meleeing, you're not shooting, and if you're not shooting, you're not reloading. It's pretty easy. Makes this challenge a walk in the park, and it gives us another 2 skill points at the end of the round. Anyway, so swing, 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 chop, 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 stab, stab, stab. We get a bunch of these guys killed dead, and the 60 seconds runs out, and once it does, I drop down some explosive ammo and go to town. Alright, so once this round reaches the halfway point, what we're going to start to do is pick up these propane tanks. And once you've picked them up, you're going to carry them over to the wall hive. The wall hive being the last hive that you're going to take out in this section. So you're going to carry them over that hive, and you're going to throw them on top. The reason we're doing that is because after this next regular hive, a chopper is going to come in and start opening fire on the wall hive. Now, you can actually damage the wall hive in addition to the damage the chopper's doing. The way we do this is we're going to kick it off with like a 6, 7, 8 propane tank explosion, which is going to do explosion damage when they first ignite and blow up, and then also fire damage as the propane gas burns on the wall. In addition to that, we're also going to set up our mobile sentry turret facing away from us, and we're going to set up facing the hive with the grenade turret and open fire on it. Alright, right now if you'll notice I'm continuing to loot around as I pick up the propane tanks and continue to stack them on the wall hive. And pretty much any downtime you get between rounds or when enemies slow down, you're going to use that time to scavenge if you need to. Now, if you've already got full explosives, you've got flare, you've got a hypno knife, you've got, full money and all the attachments you want, then you don't need to really do that. You can just start the next round. It doesn't really matter. Alright, now as most of you probably noticed there between rounds while I was running around, I also bought the next skill points for the automated sentry gun. And I went ahead and placed the drill, and now we've got a challenge to kill 15 aliens with assault rifles. Now, that challenge right there is exactly why I was stating earlier you do not want to buy a gun until later on in the game. Now I'm going to run over here to the sign near the motel, and I'm going to buy myself the AK-12, because it's actually the better of the assault rifles in this area. Alright, as a general rule, the drill has a crap ton of health. You don't really need to start paying attention to its damage level till it gets about to drill health 50. That's where the drill health kind of becomes of a concern, especially when you get into the later rounds of the game and you have things like 10 scorpions shooting at you and 30 enemies on screen at a time, and it's absolute pandemonium. Your health is low, you might be in last stand or whatever. You definitely want to pay attention to the drill health, especially if it gets to about 50%. Best thing to do is whip out the explosive ammo, smear out all the enemies that are chasing you, the ones near the drill, and just run over there and use your turrets as cover and just repair that thing. Alright, right there if you noticed, between rounds I spent the next 2 skill points, added 1 to the body armor, and added 1 to our ammo supply, +1. So now we get to start on the barrier hive and placing our turrets. So the first turret, the automated turret, is going to sit on the far right of the barrier hive if you're looking at it, and the turret is going to face barrel towards the motel. Now basically you're going to want to point the barrel at the motel sign. That's going to give you the maximum amount of left to right coverage to CYA while you're on your in-place turret. The in-place turret is going to sit about 20 game feet from the wall, facing the wall, so you can open fire on it. Alright, so once you've emptied 2 of your manned turrets into the barrier hive, what you're going to do is not call out a third. At this point, it would pretty much just give you an additional thing to carry at the end of the round, and it'll also drain your resources to almost nothing. Now, once the hive wall does go down, you will be getting a $3,000 care package, but that's not really an incentive to waste money if you have less than $3,000. Now, if you've got more than $3,000, you should probably do something like call out ammo or armor, as that'll actually be able to carry over into the next area and be effective instead of giving you another thing to carry over. Alright, so before we pick up the care package and the drill and our automated turret, what we're going to do is just kind of make a few last rounds in the area, pick up the weapons attachments and the money, the whatever it is that we didn't find in our other scavenging runs. And once we're done with that, we're going to make our way over, pick up the care package, move the sentry gun over into the next hive area, pick up the drill, and get it ready for the next round. Alright, at this point you're going to notice a building that says Better Call Big 2 Bail Bonds on it. On top of that building is a rhino. Don't shoot it, unless you really just want to either go down this early in the game or get an extra $1,000 if you really think you can take him. But my honest recommendation is not to engage him at this current point, because if you just leave him alone, he's just going to growl a little bit and then run away. No crazy firefight, and you don't have to worry about the next round starting in the middle of killing a rhino, which is definitely bad news if it does happen. So, look at him, laugh at him, let him go away, and then set up for the next round. Alright, so the setup for this next area is to put your automated sentry gun to the left of the sandbags with the emplaced Gatling gun, and then to place your grenade turret, the manned one, as far back in that back corner on the left side as possible. And what this does is it lets you watch your turret, which is going to do the brunt of the work with the man turret, and also watch the right side for scorpions. It gives you an accurate shot onto the left roof for scorpions. You can shoot down the middle to protect the drill, and you can also shoot the guys jumping off the building down the middle. Now the scorpions are going to get on the building on the left, on the building in the middle, or the building on the right. It's kind of obvious it's all of the buildings, but anyhow, also that back fence on the right side is where guys will hop over. Oftentimes a comet will crash down right there, or a meteor I guess is what they're called, and the seeker aliens, which glow bright red and explode and do a crap ton of damage, will come over that fence. But you get a little bit of a heads up when the meteor is coming down, and then your guy will yell out, "Seekers, watch out!" And if you're on your toes, you can usually shoot them before they blow you up. And if you noticed earlier in this round, my automated sentry gun kind of just bit the dust, got blown up. So I'm going to hop back here on the manned grenade turret and take out the guys that are hopping on the drill, protect myself a little bit, just kind of milk out this round until it's over. Pretty easy, nothing really special. This is probably the easiest round out of all of them in this area. Alright, so thus far your skill tree should look about like mine does. You might have chosen to set it up a little bit differently, taking different priorities, but as long as you're spending in the right areas, you should be on track. Pretty much right now you want to have both of your turrets at +3, and your other two skill points could have been disseminated to either medic, explosive ammo, or the uh, body armor. Now, you definitely want to have one of those points on medic, because the next 2 points are going to need to go onto medic. Actually, the next 3 points are going to need to go onto medic, because once you've spent 1 point, there's another 1 point upgrade, and the next upgrade is a 2 point upgrade. Now, that second upgrade that you're going to take actually allows you to absorb the damage from the gas clouds. So when a scorpion shoots at you, it does a little bit of damage initially, but then if you're stuck standing in the acid puddle, like if you're on your turret and it hits you, you don't have to jump ship and run out of the gas cloud, because it's just going to sit there and do nothing to you. Alright, so now that that silly challenge for not spending any money for 60 seconds is over, I'm going to go ahead and call out my automated sentry gun, and I'm going to drop it right there in that middle door. And that location, it's going to need a little bit of babysitting to make sure that no aliens hop on it and destroy it real fast. But otherwise, it's a pretty solid location for locking down the entire map, except for aliens that come from the far left flank. Alright, now as this round winds down, what you're going to want to do is pick up your automated sentry gun and carry it to the farthest corner of the map, which actually overlooks the next hive and also covers a good portion of the left flank. Now, when you take up your position on your manned grenade launcher turret, you're going to want to make sure that you can at least hit your automated turret with splash damage to give it a little babysitting, so that if an alien hops on it and starts attacking it, it won't get destroyed and you have to spend another $2,000 to call it a new one. Alright, so starting off this round, I'm going to go ahead and set up the manned turret over by the actual hive itself to protect the drill and also provide cross cover for my automated turret. Now at the beginning of this round, you get the challenge to kill 5 aliens with traps. That's not necessarily too hard normally, but right now one trap isn't really going to do it, so I'm actually going to go and set the 2 electric fences that are on this side of the map, as well as turn on the fiery gas trap. And those 3 traps actually in combination should do the trick pretty nicely. Alright, and if you're paying attention, you should notice now that I've got the 3rd upgrade for the medic class completed, and the 3rd upgrade for both turrets, as well as 1 skill point spent in armor and 1 skill point spent in the explosive ammo. Now those 2, armor and ammo, are kind of elective skill points. You could have spent them anywhere. It's kind of up to you. Those aren't required. But you definitely want to have 3, 3, and 3 for the medic and the 2 sentry guns. And at this point, I'm actually just kind of getting bored sitting back there and only shooting at the enemies that are hopping on my little automated turret. So I'm going to run across the map over here and try and do a little bit more shooting left to right. There's actually like an indented doorway here that provides you with a little bit of cover. And it's probably the best place to set up shop. And it's located right behind the purchasable minigun that's right there on the tripod. Alright, so those of you who have noticed, I have been throwing a few, not as many this time as the last wall hive, but propane tanks onto the wall hive, getting ready for the chopper to come in. Now, first I'm going to set up my automated sentry gun here in this middle doorway facing out to cover my backside, and I'm going to post up against this electric fence wall facing the wall hive with my grenade turret to open fire on it. Also, you'll notice I'm turning on all of the traps on this side of the map. The fire trap and the 2 electric fences. What that's going to do is cause some stun damage as they climb over the fences, which slows them down, and also fire damage when they come in from the left flank from my turret. To take out this wall hive, basically it's a rinse and repeat of kill the guys on the ground, shoot the wall hive with your grenade turret, and cover your automated sentry gun. It's really important that you make sure that automated sentry gun gets all of the cover and fire that it needs so that no aliens are on it killing it, because if it gets killed, you're going to have guys all over your back and you're going to go down. And that's not good, because that means you die and you lose one of your last stands. It's going to be time to talk about your last stands. Down in the bottom left of the corner next to your health, there's a little guy in last stand and a number 2. Every time you beat a wall hive, you get a last stand. It is imperative that when you get to the final area, you have all 3 of your last stands. You're going to need them more than likely. Alright, so now that that wall hive is down, what we're going to do is not spend any of our skill points, and we're going to resupply whatever it is we need. You want to keep your money down around the 3,000 mark. We're going to grab the drill around this corner. Rhino's going to pop out. Run back. Now when you run back, the Rhino should lose interest and just run away. If he doesn't, grab your turret. You need it anyways. Set it down, and voila, the Rhino's gone. So we're going to carry the turret over to the next area. And I kind of foobar its placement a little bit here, but make up for it in a little bit. So I'm going to run back, and I'm going to grab the drill and get ready for this first area of the 3rd world, which is the farm, I guess you could call it. Alright, not starting the round. I'm going to set this down, and I'm going to loot around a little bit. Now there are some good things around here. There's the chainsaw and the honey badger in the barn building, and there's a whole bunch of weapon attachment boxes laying around, and I'm pretty much not going to use any of them. Get that thermal hybrid scope. I'm not a big fan of it. Every time you buy ammo, it like changes so that it's a red, or it goes back to the thermal sight instead of the red dot, which is the only thing I really use it for. Alright, so you're going to set your man turret up in this little corner right here next to the stairs, and you're going to set your sentry gun down to your left up the road. Now, the sentry gun should provide fire for you up your right side and on top of the building, and you should be able to cover the drill from scorpions and from everything else. Now, if you end up with a ridiculous challenge like the one I did, spend $8,000, It's not necessarily imperative that you have to get that unless you feel like you can spend $8,000 in the round and not really have to worry about whatever. Alright, at this point the Rhino's going to come out, and this part can get a little interesting. What I like to do is just bombard him with Semtex grenades, and using my pistol, because you're faster, run away. Once you get him over to this fence, you're going to basically play a little game of Ring Around the Rosie with the Rhino. They don't like that too much. So, yeah, I'm pretty much just running away at this point. I'm not in panic mode as of yet, but, Rhino fights are a big deal, and there he's down. Alright, at this point, we're just going to mop up the guys that are left around. No big deal. Once the Rhino's dead, this part gets kind of easy. This next hive here in the middle, 99% of the time there's no Rhino that pops out of it, so it's pretty easy sailing. Just set up your turrets in the manner that I show you here. We're also going to spend the next skill point, and that's a 3-pointer, and it'll be the last upgrade for the portable sentry guns. Now what that perk lets you do is actually in place 2 automated turrets, and that's going to make you a force to reckon with. It's crazy the kind of otherworldly upgrade that it allows you to have 3 turrets essentially active at the same time. One that you're on being manned, which, because we're using the explosive turret, is just noob-tastically overpowered, and then 2 fully upgraded automated turrets with huge arcs of fire, insane fire rate, and explosive ammo. It's just amazing. Anyhow, so this one right here is usually a walk in the park. Worst case scenario, a few of your turrets get destroyed in the process, but if you're providing good cover for them, you can hit both turrets the emplacements I show you here. You can hit both of them with splash damage or directly, and this should be a relatively easy hive. Alright, with that round winding to a close, the next hive in this area is up in the top of the barn. Now when you get up there, what you're going to want to do is pretty much just set up shop right around the hive. You're not going to want to set up outside the barn at all unless you've got multiple people, but we'll go into that in another video. So you're going to set up a automated turret in the far right corner and in the close right corner, and then your manned sentry gun is going to be set up in the close left corner. Now from the close left corner, you can watch the far left corner, you can watch the far right entrance, you can watch the entrance that'll be straight ahead of you from your turret's perspective, as well as the close right and the far right turrets that you have set up. And what you're going to be able to do is provide cover fire, and it's a great setup, and it makes this round maybe even the easiest of all of them. Anyways, about 3/4 of the way through this round, a Rhino will come out. If you can keep him up there in the top of the barn, your turrets should just absolutely tear him a new one. He pretty much won't even know what hit him, especially if you've spent your elective upgrades on that 4th upgrade, or on upgrades I mean, for the manned turret, and you have the +4 for that, which gives you the incendiary rockets. He goes away real fast. So this hive is pretty simple. It's really the next 2 hives where things really get to be a little bit complicated. Alright, now with the upgrade points I still have sitting around, I'm going to spend 1 point on the very first pistol upgrade. Now what that'll do is add a muzzle brake to the pistol, which gives me a little bit of extended damage range on it. That's not really that important. What is very important is that it ups your speed. Now when you combine that with the medic class, there's also 2 perks in the medic class which up your speed, and that'll help tremendously. It'll change the outcome of the game when you go to escape at the end. You'll be faster than everybody, and because the medic class also upgrades your sprint distance, you should be able to outrun just about everything. Makes the end sprint towards the exfil just cakewalk. So beginning of this next round, I'm going to go ahead and move the drill over into position, and I'm going to get all the traps set. Once I have all the traps set, I'm going to set up my two automated sentry guns, and they are going to have two cones of fire which intersect at about a 15-degree angle in the middle, covering the right and the left side. So I should have about a 90-degree field of fire from the front of the drill covering basically all sides. And I want to set those turrets up as close to the edge of the map as possible so that it's more difficult for the enemies to jump on them and destroy them. The position you want to take with your man turret will be in the middle of those two turrets, hopefully able to cover both of them, if not directly, then with the splash damage for your turret. Now, in addition to taking the pistol skill point, you're also going to want to spend your last few skill points on the +4 upgrade for the manned turret, and that's going to give you the incendiary rockets, and those things are beastly. So this next round is somewhat difficult, and both it and the final round are going to require a maybe about a 20% luck rating in addition to having a significant amount of skill. So good luck with those, and if you follow the turret placement as well as the skill upgrades, this shouldn't be that difficult. Alright, for those of you keeping track, this is Fubar number 2. The final round actually started before I even got the drill started running. So rather than being able to get my sentry guns in the right positions, they ended up all scattered haphazard. I had 6,000 money starting out, which is a no-no. I should have spent a little bit more on the body armor, probably refilled my ammo, so I had about 3,000 money when the round started. Enough to keep the turrets flowing, but also enough that the cash isn't being wasted on a full wallet. So please excuse my last round. I really just didn't want to go back and film the entire hour of footage all over again so that I would have like a solid final round before the exfil round. So basically the strategy here would be to put one sentry gun near the hive facing down the center entryway, and the other one to the right of the hive facing uh, more to the right side, covering the farmhouse that's over there as well as you. Now your sentry gun, the manned one, you would want to put it basically against the fence to the left of the hive, facing inward so you could provide cover fire for both of your sentry guns and also assist for the right side of that sentry emplacement. Alright, when the ground starts shaking and this rhino goes to come out, the easiest thing to do is to pick up your sentry gun, the manned one that is, run over to the automated sentry gun, set it down, get as many incendiary rockets on him as you possibly can. When he reaches you, pop off your sentry gun, the manned one, circle around to his flank side, and just blast the crap out of him as he tries to attack the automated sentry guns. Now, 99% of the time, he's going to target them and not you because they're dealing a crap ton more damage than you are. Alright, this next part I really kind of mess up. Thinking it's the end of the round, I decided that I'm going to pick up the turrets and kind of face them in a direction that is bad for them so that they can be destroyed. Because I'm so high on money, I know that I can just buy new ones during the escape round. So I put them down kind of stupidly, and something that normally doesn't happen ever happens. A second rhino decides to come out, and I end up being in a little bit of trouble. But luckily for me, he goes after the manned turrets, and I do not die. Do I have to do a lot of running and a lot of shooting. So, like I had planned, my two sentry guns got downed, and I was able to drop the rhino. Alright, so before you go ahead and start the nuke, what you want to do is plus up on everything. Make sure that you're full on ammo as much as you can be, and your vests are at 100%. Now, once you've got all that done, you've got your last skill points set up, go ahead and call in the nuke. Now, right now, your number one priority is to haul butt. Run as far and as fast as you can all the way to this first crash site, which, if you could see it, was in that little alleyway there. Now, the way will be blocked, so what you're going to want to do is just play Ring Around the Rosie with the rhino there so he can't do a crap ton of damage to you. Just keep running back and forth, keep him on his toes, and you're going to use primarily your pistol here. Okay, once the wall's down, you're just going to sprint through it. Make sure you are continually dropping down body armor upgrades and ammo so you can stay alive and you can stay full and topped off on your munitions. Alright, if that barrier's still down when you get here, what you're going to want to do is do a lap around this building. That'll usually spend enough time to have it come down far enough. Right there you can make it past it. And once you make it past, it's a home stretch to the extract point. When you get to the extract point, that's it. Game over, you win. Well, thank you for watching my tutorial on how to escape the Extinction Mode Episode 1 solo on Call of Duty Ghosts. My name is Cryptic. Godspeed and good luck.